Jose, you say you early, ain't it? Yeah, you early, baby. You'll pay me that jacket from back there, that coat. Thank you. Got baby doll in here tonight. Yo, hey, oh that Pete, old sneaky Pete, that old sneaky Pete. What's up with y'all, man? Hold on, let me turn my paw lights on. Let me sit out here and make it look right till I get ready to go to sleep. And turn my little paw lights on. Have my Pete looking official out here. What it be like? Nephew, what the word is? Yeah, I said let me turn my paw lights on. I sit out here with the candle lit. With the candle lit out here. What it be like, man? Enjoying life, making the best out of all of it. Y'all know what it is. I want y'all to see it. Light up. Light up. That's the daytime running light. No low beam. That's the daytime running light. Well, they said they found that thing in Northeast Corner on a whole pile of bullshit. They said they found that in a pile of who know they found that in a pile of bullshit. Okay, think it's a game. How y'all doing tonight, man? Another good time job, another good day in the book. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get that GPS off. Alright, okay. Give me one in the comment, you guys. My sound coming in pretty good. How y'all doing tonight? Like I said, another decent time job. Out here doing our thing tonight. Well, we can't talk about trucks and drive trains and stuff. All that old good stuff tonight, man. Let y'all ask some questions about some stuff y'all like and talk about some pros and some cons and some things you might want to know about maybe perhaps some particular years of certain vehicle. Let me step back about this thing one time. Step back about this peak one time. Let y'all just see how good God can be sometimes to some folk that don't even nearly deserve it, but don't mind working a little bit. Oh yeah. So let's see. Turn that back around. Get y'all some light. How everybody doing this evening? Everybody good? So first of all, we're gonna start. We ain't gonna say at the bottom, but we're gonna start at the beginning and talk about trucks and why you need a truck. And that's kind of not the most, I guess, let's say, professional way of saying why you need trucks, but it's really more the thought of what is the purpose of the truck. And in its most basic form, hmm, the truck purpose is to get a dollar, pull the load efficiently, safely, and with a little overkill left over, as far as load carrier capacity, towing capacity, things of that nature. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Purpose of the truck: pull the load, get you some money. Don't have you on the side of the road while they're doing all that, or at least as little as possible. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I appreciate you guys. Um, so it's always a proposition about preference. You know, things you may have experienced with certain trucks that lead you to prefer certain drivetrains, certain trucks, certain year models, and certain experiences make you have apprehensions about certain trucks, certain year models, and certain kinds. And with the advent of the internet and all this good information that we have out here, it's kind of hard to say you didn't know certain things, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes stuff happens so fast that deals come along and you might not do your due diligence, and sometimes we end up with stuff we wasn't even going to get. You ever see people that go to the lot and they'll tell you before they leave, man, I'm finna go get that new Escalade, and they come back with a Tahoe. It might not even be because they money or they credit. It might just be because the salesman put a better pitch on that Tahoe than he did for the Escalade for the value proposition of their money. So they end up getting swayed into something else. And I've seen people go to the dealership like this for high shot trucks, semi trucks, and whether it be the financing situation or the salesman that really don't do this, telling you about what it takes to do this, cause he know he gonna get more commission off certain stuff than he get off certain other stuff. He might be inclined to sell you a truck that's a little bit newer, of a whole different body, you know what I'm saying? A whole different year model, a whole different manufacturer, a whole different everything. When you come out of the dealership, you're like, man, what the hell just happened, man? I came up here to get a Duramax diesel, and I come out with an F-250. I came to get a dually, end up with a single. What the hell? And he keep telling you, oh, it do the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Don't worry about that rear end, girl. Don't worry about that transmission. Man, don't worry about the miles on that truck, man. That depth system bulletproof. Don't you worry about none of that stuff right there. And stuff happens. Like I about to say shit happens, but it does. Like stuff happens. You'll go and like I say, even in the pursuit of this truck right here, I had about 9 options. Thank you. I had about 9 options, and it was about 9 options from like 7 different places. And like I say, one place in particular that I'm so happy I did not frequent, had three of the choices at one location. It was like three choices at that location. It was in the budget. In my mind, it's before everything went crazy and took off with these prices and stuff. And I saw some decent deals and some borderline deals and some shit that was so pretty and had them stacks on it and it was off the chain. I'm talking about it looked gorgeous. And then me being me, when I investigate the mechanicals on the truck and the drivetrain and different stuff like that, I come to find out that they just really put, what I'm saying, a whole lot of pretty paint on a pig and were finna get me for my money. They finna get me for my money. So, what I'm saying? I ain't want to get got for my money because the crazy thing about it is in them situations, most of the time, unless they completely mislead you, you can't really blame nobody but yourself. So you really can't go back and say nothing to these people after you done drove the truck for a month, month and a half, week and a half, and the motor blow up. You can say something, but it ain't too much gonna do nothing because point seen, money gone. That shit in the past. That transaction didn't happen. It's over with. Buy remorse my ass. You ain't gonna get your money back. So that's why I say I want to make this video tonight for some people that may be about to procure some trucks. And I do these videos from time to time because I'm just be honest with y'all, man. I have not been in the trucking industry even a fourth of the time I'd have been in the automotive industry. And I mean, when I tell you everything from whew, building low rider bikes all the way up to building engines, taking cabs out F-350s, F-250s to get to all this stuff you can't see under the hood. I mean, injectors and all that good stuff, reman and engines and all that stuff, Enduramax, we R and R that motor, in and out with it. Turbo. They did some revisions on the turbo while I was working at GM. We had to go and swap those out when the ball bearings started disintegrating. They realized that wasn't the best thing to do. Uh, But as most people do in that industry, they copycat each other. And whoever seemed to have the latest technology and the best newest technology, you'll see everybody else jump on that bandwagon. And Ford did the same thing with that turbo, put ball bearings in it, ceramic ball bearings, which when you coke that turbo and you scrape and you actually cook that coal on that bearing in that turbo, it actually started to disintegrate those ball bearings and it turned into dust. And yeah, there's a lot of shaft play going on, and you need a turbo, and you got to pull the cab to fix it. And that's on 11, 12, 13s, some 14 Fords with 6.7, 7.3. That's a hell of an engine. But it's certain seals inside of the high pressure pump in the valley of the motor, which is gear operated, certain seals, O-rings, and 90-degree fittings that are made of plastic that over time disintegrate. They actually leak. Sometimes those seals get hard and you'll notice a hard starting on the 7.3 in the morning till oil pressure comes up or the engine is warm. It'll do what it's supposed to, but the first crank of the morning it won't initially build a 500 plus psi of oil pressure on the high pressure oil circuit for the fire injectors in order to crank that truck. And you'll notice when it's extremely cold outside, it's worse. So, like I said, little stuff that can help you. I'm gonna give y'all an opportunity to jump in the comments and y'all might want to type out a couple questions or something, and we can talk about a few particular models that you may have some interest in, or you may have some questions about, or some things you just wondered about the truck. You might not even be in the market to get the truck yet, but you weighing your options, and you're like, man, well, why I see all these Dodges, or why I see all these Fords, or why I see all these GMCs on the road, and what's the deal with that? And who seems to be doing it better, which is a matter of opinion. But I'm gonna tell you from a mechanical standpoint why I feel a certain way about certain stuff, and it ain't just a Cummins fanboy type of video right here. Because to be honest with you, all of them do the job. It depends on what you're trying to do, how long you trying to do it, and if that's your truck or not. Same thing with a semi. So, like I said, hmm, GM 3500 dually. That one of the most by the public underrated truck that you could tow with. I'm gonna say that again. Not on the paper, not in the owner manual, not inside the door, not on what GM says, but yeah, on paper in certain cases on that maximum towing. Yeah, that is one of the most underrated trucks by the public on the road. That is a man. Them trucks are capable. Uh, only downfall I see on their truck in a heavy pulley situation, CDL with that 3500, I ease up to a 5500 for the bigger brakes because ain't nobody engine brake like that Cummins, and it just is what it is. Ain't nobody engine brake working like that Dodge. So, in them situations with a Ford or a GM, I'm going, not 35. I actually save a few $1,000, get a 55, get some bigger brakes, bigger axle, yada yada yada, and help that engine break out, son. Cause you're gonna pull some heavy stuff. If you try to get 3500, go CDL, high shot, something like that, you're gonna pull some weight around. Uh, see how I like the Chevrolet. I like the Chevrolet. Shout out Ike over there, Chicago Kane over there in Florida right now with what I call the ball man truck. He got that GMC Denali 2019 with that Wi-Fi off up in it, that hard pulling that Duramax. And I want to say that boy I think it's a 6 speed. It might be a 8. Oh, it ain't a 10, but it might be a 8, but I think it's a 6 speed. and it pulls some. And what you'll be looking for in that GLC in particular, that Chevy, that GLC in particular, is your rear end ratio. Because you got a monster of a transmission. You got a more than capable engine, but you got one of the baddest transmissions in the business, one of the best transmissions in the business behind that motor, which is an Allison. That's a school bus transmission all day long. I don't care what the number behind it or whatever. If they put it behind 35, 45, 5500, I just classify it as a school bus transmission and I kill the noise. I don't give a damn what the transmission rated for. If they put it behind that diesel, that's a school bus transmission to me. I don't care if it's an Allen 1000, 2000, I don't care. Whatever it is. If it's behind that diesel, that's to me, that's a school bus transmission because they really, man, you might go through two motor before you go through that transmission. Same thing with early Fords, mid-year Fords. Fords up to now, really, beside that 10, I don't know too much about that 10 speed for longevity because it's yet to be seen because they popping. I heard they were popping. I heard they were popping, but I ain't got nothing to do with that. Boy, look at that cow hog. Can you see it from here? Let's see, can I get a zoom in? Yes, sir. He got that wedge. He got him on that wedge tonight, y'all. And y'all see he got the heavy stuff on the back, the car on the front, as it should be, with the fifth wheel, 5500, no bed. L550 look like, but I thought it might be a 5500. No bed, fenders, and the fifth wheel, as it should be. But yeah, I like the Chevy. I'm a GMC fan for the styling and the amenities because if you know about the SUV game on the GMC and the Chevy side, if you go, Chevy Tahoe, Chevy Suburban, then you go Yukon, Denali, and XL, SLT, and all that. There's a little step pad there. Then you get to Big Daddy. You get over the Cadillac range. You fuck with the Escalade. Then they got levels to the Escalade. So a few levels to that Escalade. But same thing with the truck. So you'll come with the Chevy more work truck, use Z71 package, you can upfit it, all that. You can get the Ballman, High Country Edition, all that there. But then you'll go over to the GLC, you got a base model that'll be comparable to your Chevy. But then as you mid trim and go on up in that GLC, it get real player in that inside now. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. Same thing with a Dodge. You come in with some bare bone, then you ease up to the Bighorn, and then you ease up to the Bowman, that Laramie Longhorn, and all that old addition like that, and they get real, real player. But in a comparison from a Chevy to a GLC, that GLC gonna be balling most time. Anytime you come over that SLT package, where you ease over in that Denali range, you gonna upside the wheels and all that. So you want to see what that does to you. And if if you're thinking about resale, you gonna keep the truck and do this and that and the other. That might be a thing that you want to think about. If you gonna dine and dash, you gonna get that money and get away from up out of it or whatever, whatever, whatever. You might just perhaps get the basic. You know what I'm saying? If they're gonna end up being a driver, truck, and yada yada yada, you might not want the push button start in the 13-inch screen in the middle of the dashboard for somebody to spill coffee on in the morning. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to another one. I know y'all got some more stuff in here. We stayed on the Chevy good. What's up, Tim? Yeah, Tanner got that 2020 L350, got that Wi-Fi in it, and he says a powerhouse. I can attest to that. And the truck real sexy. I'm talking the truck sexy. It's black on chrome, sit nice. I'm talking that thing sit nice, like it real player. Like I really want to see that boy. You know, I really want to see that boy around here for his old with. I really want to see that boy put. I want to see him be country as he is and put some big old rims on that truck when he get ready to move up into the semi and he know he ain't finna put nobody in that pretty truck and just have a player at the house truck like I did with my 2500. I want to see that boy put some big old pretty rims. Man, I'm talking about man. I ain't lying, man. I want to see you bolt that truck up to him for real. Cause that's a nice F-350. Like I said, I don't be hating on the Fords and no mean about the whole sexy pull hard and all this stuff. I just can't trust my shit to that because I used to work on it. You know what I'm saying? So if it ain't brand new, I can't rock with it. If it brand new, I rock with it. But if it ain't brand new, I can't really rock with it. And then after a certain amount of time of brand new, then I can't rock with it no more. Cause I know what go behind it. I picked up too many cabs off the motherfucker. So you know, but that is the sexiest truck on the road. Beside that brand new Denali HD 253500, that is the most sexy truck on the road. That F350 show there. They say what they want to say. Make a Dodge look like trash. Man, very on the road trucking. From your experience, I say fuck them too, bro. And ooh, I say forget about them too, man. But like I said, everybody experience different, and that was actually a really, really bad run on trucks. You got lost in the sauce just in a bad production run on some real bad decision with the same thing I said about uh the other truck company when they want to do that Me Too shit with the ball bearing, ceramic ball bearing turbo, because one man do it, they feel like that we don't want to get one up with that technology, yada yada yada. Then they want to come compact the graphite block that won't let you hear the motor when it knocking because it lose a oil pressure. Now we got a variable geometry, variable pressure oil pump that only supply enough oil when it's necessary. We got a CP4 pump that motherfucker like a glass jaw. If you touch them, get that with some bad D's right there, you shattering metal through all the injectors in the motor. You tearing up everything. That was a bad run of truck. I told everybody not to buy that truck. Everybody. Repeatedly. I made two whole videos back to back and kept sharing them throughout the whole time. Why I have not bought a Ram. And I'm a Ram guy. I love a Cummins, but that wasn't their best work. That wasn't their best work, and then I couldn't be the one they tried. My 2018 still running hard. That aluminum block was a death. But man, I'm telling you, bro, you gotta have some stability with all this cylinder pressure. And everybody want to make 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. That's a lot of cylinder pressure, man. And like I say, I don't just think the block 100% of the problem, but what they trying to do is that Me Too shit. See, there's a whole lot of Me Too going on. Okay, if I could walk in front of an F-350, right, like right now, tell the truck, if I walk in front of his truck while it's running, I would have to not be on my phone doing nothing to realize that truck running. Other than that, I really wouldn't know that truck was running. I just walk past and wouldn't think nothing about it. The truck probably be running, might not. And you could barely hear it. Sound like a gas engine. Okay, well, over the years, I've been trying to ease their way into that ever since my 2006 Dodge Ram. My 2006 Dodge Ram has three injector pulses per cycle. So let me explain this. Like your diesel engine has injectors. Every time the piston comes up the top dead center on the compression stroke of the motor and your valves are closed, compression takes place, and at the last moment before the cylinder gets to the top of the cylinder, it sprays fuel. Now, a lot of people think that it's just one spray, just one big plume of fuel, and it goes boom. Well, it can be, a la 12 valve Cummins. If y'all know 12 valve 5.9 Cummins, it's got a particular sound, and it ain't quiet. It's a diesel. A 12 valve 5.9 Cummins. If anybody know about a 12, y'all go Google that shit, watch a video about it, listen to it when we get out the video. But a 12 valve 5.9 Cummins, if you listen to it running, it sounds like a semi. It sounds like that caterpillar out here, like glow, 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 glow. You can hear it at idle, each piston firing in sequence from shit 20 feet away from the truck. You can hear it with a muffler, full exhaust, factory, everything. You can hear it because that's how the engine runs because those were single ejection vents. So with a single injection event happening, all that fuel is expected to be burned at once. It ignites. It doesn't quite propagate the flame the way it should. So certain parts of the fuel in this cloud starts to ignite before other parts, and it really doesn't burn as evenly. And as a result of all that fuel being dumped in there and burned real rapidly, it goes boom really loud. So you got a rough sounding engine. Okay, in my '06, now you come all the way from 99 Dodge Ram with the 5.9, 97 with the 12 valve, on up to a 2006 generation truck, 5 and 6 with the 5.9, 24 valve. Now we got three injection events. So as the piston almost gets to the top, it sprays a little diesel. It gets almost to the top completely, it sprays a lot more diesel. And on the way down, right as the piston passes top dead center on the way down, it sprays another little poof. Devon, I got you. If you're on the live, I see you with that Trinity. I gotta run that MC for the credit, but I got you. Boy, we got load coming in all in the middle of the night on live and everything. Y'all see it. This shit don't stop now. But okay. So that's an OC. Now we get up into um the 14 era. Like the truck. Okay, so Raycon coming. Yeah, I'm already signed up with them folks. I think that was Trinity. Yeah, I'm already signed up with Trinity. Shout out Trinity Logistics over there in San Antonio getting us some money. Appreciate you. But anyway, yeah, so you get up into like the 2014 truck, like my white Dodge Ram, and this is holding true to everybody basically that was doing diesel trucks through these certain eras. I'm talking about a Cummins, but everybody did me too at the time. So everybody made their trucks start to get quieter, more efficient on fuel, which a diesel is already pretty efficient, but it made it more efficient. It burned the fuel more efficiently. So you got a better running engine that was quieter. It made more power. And with the advent of more turbocharging going on and better turbocharging, more boost being able to be applied to these engines, you started to get engines that were no longer 180 horsepower. They 250. They 325. They 400 horsepower. But the torque number, because of the way you're able to pulse this injector through the peak torque period of the motor and the high pressure rise at that particular time, allow you to produce back then maybe 400 foot pounds, 450 foot pounds. Come up to a '06, you had about 700 foot pounds. You get up to 2014, you had about 800, 850 foot pounds across the board. Now, this everybody. And then you get up to about 15, 16, everybody wants to start easing and cracking toward that 1,000 foot pound mark, and it's a race. It was a race to get 1,000 foot pounds out of the same block you had last year, but we can't do it. So we got to do something else, and we got to change this, and we change that, and we keep up with the curve. And what ends up happening is, by the time you get all the way to 2019, 2021, you now have 5 to 7 injection events happening in one piston cycle. And a lot of people think that don't mean that. But you have to have a very high resolution computer with very precise fuel control, very precise fuel management, and some very high rail pressure on a common rail. You got to have some 25, 26, 29,000 psi going on. So you need a hell of a pump. You need a hell of a high pressure pump. And what they had, CP3, all the way up until they start throwing rods out the side of the block, hanging the injectors open and things like that because you're demanding a lot out of a light duty engine that experienced variable loads on a system that hadn't really been tested on a brand new injector that costs way more than it should. And get what? A pump that we saw for it fucking grenade them bitches all 2018. We saw them trucks do that, and they still put that pump on that truck. So that's why I say ain't really nobody fault but Dale. And then at the same time, I ain't popular. I ain't trying to be, but I ain't popular. I made a bunch of videos about the shit, but at the same time, I ain't popular. So it didn't get out there. Some folks bought some stuff, and then it was some people that were popular that were saying other stuff, and they were buying the trucks and stuff that helped make some of y'all make them decision to get the truck that blew up. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of other people that knew what they were doing and had money and funding, they did that shit. But at the same time, I couldn't be the guinea pig because I wasn't looking at it for funding and I was looking at it long term meal. How I'm gonna get some use out of this truck and I don't know what it's gonna do. I'd rather buy you and rebuild the whole truck over the course of the year than to buy brand new and they keep telling me about their warranty and I can't never get my truck back. When I can buy the other part readily off the street, my stuff ain't on the assembly line still getting built and used for brand new trucks that they fucking everybody else with. I can get these parts from the parts store. Man, don't y'all know you couldn't even get brake pads for a Ford, Dodge, Chevy, or nothing the year it came out? You couldn't even buy brake pads for them trucks. And I know some people that do not know how to correctly use their engine brake. They needed brake pads. I'm talking about within the first year of ownership. Especially them Ford owners, because y'all got the softest engine brake in the engine. Tell them I said it. Y'all lock the transmission up, two gears together, keep the torque converter locked up, and all that. When you get through that engine brake, soft as shit. That engine brake soft as shit. You got to damn near throw a ride outside the motor to get some action on that engine brake. I felt that firsthand. I said, no, this ain't. No, this ain't what they calling this. Wait a minute. This ain't what they calling this and this for. This is not an engine brake. What is this? It's fucking flap over the exhaust. What is this? A banana in the tailpipe? What's going on? This don't feel right. I'm used to that getting up on it and that thing whistle and that thing snap back and push you into the steering wheel. That type of shit. So wait a minute. Yeah, and no down talk to the Ford. It just ain't strong as a Dodge. It's just the physics of what it is. It can't do it. Too much exhaust piping between the turbo vanes and the exhaust valve. Too much compression going on. Not enough acting on the piston. You got more square inches of more cubic inches of space in the pipe than you do in the cylinder that you compressing. So it can't do that. It just can't. It can't. It sound good when it go by. It whistle, but it ain't hitting hard. It ain't hitting hard. Sound good though that motor. No Ford, no, it sound good. Somebody said delete it or not. Let me go back to that question. Y'all know how I feel. Well, it could be the cause of throwing out rod, not having oil in the motor. Man, I think that variable pump be having something to do with that veteran over the road. Because like I said, I dealt with that and see they man, see that what I don't like. That what I don't like about Dodge. Remember I told y'all I used to work for Mercedes. Man, yeah, hell yeah. They went back CP3, hell yeah. Hey, I used to work for Mercedes, right, y'all? And like I don't just be like the buffalo bubble, but you know what I'm saying? A roguish person, when my grandma called, you gotta watch them. Roguish people steal shit. Even though they your homeboy and stuff, they be right up under you and help you look for the shit they stole. But one thing I found out in life, the copy ain't never like the original unless the copy made by the person that made the original. Then it's just another original because it ain't even like the first original 100%. It's like I play a song on the organ and stuff. Unless I'm looking at direct sheet music, even if I'm looking at direct sheet, I'm not gonna play that shit exactly note for note the same every single time, 10 times in a row. It's not gonna happen. Not that shit don't happen. Yeah, my bad, yo. I know all y'all fell up out here. Man, my bad. That was a phone call on the low for in the morning that I was telling y'all about just a minute ago. So if my audio is coming in clear, let me get a one in the comments. Let me get a one in the comment. Crank this thing back up. Hopefully they'll pop back up. Get another notification or two. Velvet Road Trucking. Yeah, we were talking about that oil pressure. Like in my mind trying to run the scenario of why that ride got to come out the side of that block like that. I really think, I really think it's a combination, better know the road. Because 99.999% of them cases that'll happen to you. You can talk to anybody that'll blow one, you blow one. I done did some little autopsy with some partners of mine with them 5500 that was, ooh, they blowing them like crazy. Dude had a record server. He had three of them over there. I just was looking at these motors and I'm trying to figure out, like, really to my best deduction, why is it rod outside of this motor like this? And it's simply the fastener has exceeded its allowable stretch. The fastener has exceeded its thermal ability to handle the stretch. Now you got to go back to what we talking about. We talking about ride boats. We talking about ride boats. Now, some of them rods were broke off at the top. Ain't no boat break. Most of them rods broke because of a hung up injector firing on the wrong stroke. Burned a hole through the piston, shocked the piston, stuff like that happen. But when you see them one for come up at the bottom, like I seen a few of them come at the bottom. Hold on 1 second, y'all. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I gotta get a carry pack there, so I gotta get out there live in a hot second. Go and get that work out. Um, but when you see that ride come out the bottom, when you see the ride come at the bottom, and it's not connected to the crankshaft anymore, anymore. I really think that the tensile strength of the rod and the material used for the bolts in that Cummins, for them rod bolts, have been slightly misjudged along with the running oil clearance on these rods. So you got a powder metal block. That block is extremely strong. I wouldn't fault the block unless it kept breaking crankshafts. You feel me? And then you'll eventually have a crack in the block somewhere because stuff is shifting and moving. But as long as that block ain't moving, that crankshaft gonna live. Long as them mains don't walk around, that crankshaft gonna live, and them crankshafts been living. It's the rod that been making the extra stay right over there by up front of the turbo. So then you gotta look at the way a rod, a connector rod, big end actually works. And from assembling engines for a while, I know that rod bearings and main bearings too, but rod bearings and main bearings are not round. They ain't round. They egg shaped until you clamp the bolt together and you put the squish on the actual rod bearing and actually make it semi-round. It still ain't round then. Even when you torque it down, it say 100 foot-pounds torque on that rod bolt, and it stretched the bolt, and it ain't going nowhere. What I want you to know is, from the point in time which that rod and that crankshaft journal come together, and you clamp it, and you put the bolt through the rod, and the rod on the crankshaft, and it's ready to go round and round with the crankshaft. That This circle, hold on, see, get some light on it. I don't know how I'm gonna do that. This circle is not a circle. This circle is like this. It's tight. It's not round. It's tight. It's tight from side to side. So in a 360-degree circle, it's not a circle. It's more of an egg shape to where it's circular at the top, it's circular at the bottom, and on the sides, there's less clearance before you squeeze them together. When you squeeze them together and apply the torque, they become semi-round. Why I say semi-round is that tightness from the side gets pressed out and actually becomes tightness from top to bottom. So you get a pretty much round circumference, but what happens in the motion of a rod, that's why we get forged rods in diesel engines because it's more stable, it's got more ductility, it will actually give before it breaks. It'll do a slinky before it breaks. So what you do to compensate when you're building an engine, if you ever build anything that make a little power, you know, you don't run normal ride and main clearances on no motors. You don't run 0.022. You don't run 21,000 oil clearance. You run 25, 27, 30, 31, 32, depending on what kind of power, what kind of rod you got in the motor, what kind of crankshaft you moving, because as that piston, as heavy as it is, connected to that rod, goes up and down, up and down, up and down, it's constantly trying to snatch the cap off the bottom of the rod. So the rod is not staying round through all these events. And now we making 1,050 foot-pounds of torque at the lowest possible RPM, where we'll stretch that rod and that piston out the most, and the piston has the most dwell time at top dead center, where this actual explosion has more acting force on the rod, with more active force on the crank, will give up way more torque. We got 1,050 foot-pounds, but at the expense of the fact that that rod is like a rubber band now. And the fact that you tried to make this motor really, really quiet, you tighten up the oil clearances, so when this rod does this elastic stuff and it's not round anymore and it gets stretched out the long way, what happens to the side? It pinches. If you pull a circle long way, the side gets tight. So get what they do? Burn the journal contact. Your oil clearance ain't there to begin with to compensate for all this stretching and moving. Then you want to put a variable geometry oil pump in the engine, a la Mercedes. Y'all stop stealing shit y'all don't understand. I'm telling you, hey man, I ain't gonna say you stole because y'all part of them Daimler, Chrysler, all that old good stuff. Stop doing that until y'all go over there and let them Germans really school y'all on why and how and the reason why that little bit of extra pin on the end of that and a little bit of extra radius on the end of that fillet when they machine that. In German, built to a spec. So you cut the oil pressure on the motor at idle. You cut the oil pressure on the motor during steady state pull. When it's going through torque and it's shifting gears and it's going back through the torque and it's stretching the rod, the right amount of oil ain't there, which the right amount of oil is the only thing that gonna cool this rod off, that oil flow. That ain't right. And we provide too much friction because the sides of the bearings of the rod touching the damn crankshaft. So get what? That rod ain't gonna last long. That rod gonna turn blue. If you ever over the motor and see a blue rod, you just know that one goes in the garbage. You just took the heat treat off that ride. It's over with. That ride will no longer be any good. So, like there's a whole lot of stuff that contribute to it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna blame no one thing, but a whole lot of me too had a lot to do with it. Cause they had a really, really, really good package that could have got 1,050 foot-pounds of torque reliably. And don't ask me how I know, cause I was running over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque through that through that 6 to 8 IFE with some good trans tuning and a nice torque converter in it. A nice torque converter in it. and deleted the bypass on the thermostat for the transmission. Delete that whole little bypass system, make that thing run cool. Put your nice torque converter up in to get you some good trans tuning for some good crispy shifts on them 34. And get what come on through. That's what I did. And I was pulling the trailer with way more than 1,050 foot-pounds of torque. I'm talking for real. I was pulling way more than 1,000 foot-pounds of torque. This thing went on the dyno in Alpharetta, Georgia with stock rims and tires on it. I pulled way more than 1,000 foot-pounds of torque with that truck on a factory motor, 6.7, nice little tune, pizza timing in it, and some fuel. And one rolling no coal and come through with the best of them, getting really good gas mileage, made plenty of money with the truck. But at the same time, they had a package. They could have did that shit in their sleep. They ain't have to do nothing but go in there and just do some stuff in the computer, and it would have did that. They'd have did that. I'm gonna live a witness without no extras, no kind of pump, no different injectors or nothing. I wasn't 20 over, 30 over. I was factory injector with some head studs and some pressure running through there with that silly wheel on that turbo run about 47 pounds of boot. It was doing good for what it was. I believe that's why they stole it. It pulled up sounding awesome. I know it did. Mark said I recommend store bought deal. I recommend store bought deal for any of these hot shot trucks for real, cause y'all there is a depth quality sensor in these newer trucks that will check the depth quality and see if it has settled out or the proportion ain't right. And when you buy bulk depth, a lot of times some stuff come out of suspension. It might not be as homogeneously mixed as it should be. And I don't want to take that chance of being on the side of the road because somebody sold me some bad piss water for $4 a gallon almost. Come on, man. Mark Wells, Allison or Ison? Um, you'll really be talking about two different truck manufacturers, but yeah, transmission for transmission. Allison, oh, Allison, man. Ison make a good transmission. It really, really do. But you can take a icing, put it behind that Dodge, and run. You can take that Allison, swap that bill out on that Allison, put it behind a 8.3 coming. You put behind a Dodge. You put it behind that Ford. You put behind whatever you want to pull. That medium duty or smaller, that making power. And I bet that transmission hold that motor, man. It's what it is. Some people, it's their thing. Icing, it's their thing. Allison, it's their thing. It's their transmissions, that's their thing. They ain't fucking around. That's their shit. Uh, Coming with Allison behind it. Icing is what is available from the factory. That's why that's the best option for a Dodge. I say in a perfect world, coming with an Allison behind it. It don't matter damn near what coming, and it damn near don't matter what Allison. Golly. That's something serious right there, y'all. When you got a bad motor coming like that, well, it don't matter what Dodge motor, and it really don't matter what Allison transmission. Put them together, and them is go. Man, that's crazy. Yeah. But like I said, it's been real. Been on here 49 minutes. That's long enough. Appreciate y'all coming and participating. Thank y'all for hanging on. Like I said, the work ain't never done. Shoot, you ain't worry about the money. Worry about the work. Money gonna do what it do. Gotta learn the job. So I'm finna get on my job. And appreciate everybody hanging out, man. Veteran Road to Road Truck. Good to see you, man. Been a little while. Checkmate. Keep it moving. Transportation. Highway. What's a good first truck? Channel. I think I'm gonna do a live about that. And you can hit me in the cash out. We can actually run down there, but it kind of depends on what you're trying to do, what you're looking for, and really what you're trying to do. To be honest with you, on the best semi, see a lot of folks make videos say what the best of this and the best of that. The best of it for me ain't the best of it for you, just because our situation different. So hey, it's all good. It's all good. Mike Martin. Hey man, all love y'all. Hey man, we can get up out of here and y'all have a blessed night, man. I'm gonna get on my little job.